Everyone loves a road trip, right? You pack up the car, set the destination, and drive across a bunch of Eastern Bloc countries with your uncle. And a bucket of water, and a car that seems to be falling apart at the hinges. Part Oregon Trail, part Mechanic Simulator, part Papers, Please. This game called Jalopy really is something unique. I've certainly never played anything like it, and it's available right now on Early Access for a mere $12. But is it worth all the travel, or are you better off just staying at home? Let's find out. Jalopy is a game where you nurse a four-wheeled banger across a number of countries. You stay in hotels, buy parts, fill it with petrol, and listen to your uncle wax lyrical about the good old days and the fall of socialism. But it's not about getting to your destination fast, it's about getting there in one piece. You see, Jalopy is a term of endearment for a car that's, let's say, past its best. And yours is a Leica 601 Deluxe. A car made of parts that can break, parts that need to be repaired or replaced, parts that need to be taken care of. For instance, the Leica has a two-stroke engine, meaning you gotta make sure there's at least some oil in there, or it's gonna run less efficiently and get damaged more quickly. But it's not all about the mechanics, there's an element of surgeon simulator in here too. This car doesn't drive itself. If you want to pop the hood, you gotta pull its lever. You're not required to change gears or indicate with your blinkers, but you can expect to do everything else, from turning on the ignition, to flicking on your lights and wipers, using the handbrake, even rolling down the window to hand border guards your passport. Jalopy is charming as hell, and all these interactions lend spirit to a game that doesn't say much, but says what it does rather well. For instance, you can buy supplies and petrol at any gas station you pass, but the first time I did, I couldn't find my wallet to pay the lady, so I had to run back and search the whole car. Of course, it was in the bloody glove compartment. You've also got a trunk full of gear to help you along the way, but it works like Resident Evil's grid system, meaning it has limited space. I mean, it's probably nice to have a bucket of water so you can clean off all the mud on your windshield, but that takes up a lot of room. This inventory management puzzle is one area where the game's early access rough edges are most apparent, but in a game centered around trying to get something that's broken to work properly, I found myself surprisingly forgiving of these niggles. Though less so with some of the behaviors of the AI drivers, or when my uncle decided to find a faster way to the other side of the continent. Saving and quitting doesn't actually save your progress, but it will reload you back at the last hotel you checked into, which is just as well, because even in this early version, the further you get, the more challenging the gameplay becomes. It all seems rosy on your trip until you realise you forgot to pop some oil in the engine and it's eating itself alive. It's a very good sign for a game when even losing is fun, and even when you find yourself on the wrong side of a bad decision, staring at a broken bridge miles from anywhere with no fuel, in the rain while the sun is setting, you can't help but laugh. Like a banged up car, it's challenging, but Jalopy has a wonderful sense of charm. It wears its inspiration on its sleeves. There are shades of 80 Days, Surgeon Sim, Papers, Please, among others, but Jalopy is, perhaps above anything else, one of the most unique games I've played this year. If you're interested, Jalopy is rough but ready to play right now on Steam for a very reasonable $12.